Welcome to this 30-minute morning yoga stretching class. This is a great way to invite compassion, kindness, and appreciation into all regions of the body and really allow yourself to connect to the present moment. As we work through a variety of seated stretches, twists, and lying down postures, we're going to have the opportunity to observe what's going on in the body, see where we can soften a little more, see what areas of the body could use a little bit more love. So when you're ready, I invite you to find a comfortable seated position, allowing yourself to find length through the vertebral column, slightly tucking the chin towards the chest, maybe closing the eyes. Begin to observe the rhythm of the breath, simply becoming aware. There's no need to try and change anything or control what's going on. Welcoming this space as an opportunity to detach from the past, release yourself from ideas of the future, recognizing that we are in the here and now, and it is in this moment that we can connect to the essence of our being and find a state of peace and surrender. I invite you to take 3 cleansing breaths to commence practice. Inhaling through the nostrils and exhaling through the mouth. Beginning to blink the eyes opened. To commence practice, we will start with a seated cat-cow, placing the palms on the knees. Inhale, scoop the chest forwards, gazing up, broadening across the heart space. Exhale, curl and round, draw the chin to chest, engaging the core. A few more times, finding your rhythm. Maybe staying with these traditional variations, or you might like to create some fluidity, a bit of a circular motion. Inhaling as you come forward and around. Exhale as you curl around to the side and back, creating more of a barrel shape with the body, the torso. And if you are moving in one direction, perhaps going in the opposite direction. Beginning to soften and release, coming up to a seated position. We'll take a seated twist, crossing our left leg over the right, Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the left, guiding the outer edge of the right tricep against the left thigh, tenting up onto the left fingertips behind you. You might like to find a mudra with that right arm. Breathe. With every inhalation, seeing if you can grow a little taller through the vertebral column. And with every exhalation, creating a little bit more space, twisting a little more. Returning to center, swapping the cross of the legs, and we'll take this twist on the other side. Be mindful to keep both sits bones connected to the earth. This is a great pose to stimulate digestion as we gently massage the internal organs. It's also a beautiful way to invite some mobility into the spinal column after a night of rest. Perhaps observing how one side might feel a little different from the other, knowing that that's okay. Gently beginning to unravel. Returning to center, we'll come into firelog pose or double pigeon. Placing the right shin down on the mat, parallel with the edge of the mat, and guiding the left shin on top of that, keeping the feet flexed. Hips are squared. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, extend the arms skywards. You might like to stay upright or begin to hinge from the hips as we fold forward, keeping an extension in the spine so we're not curling and rounding the spine. Imagining as though you're in Sphinx pose. You might like to lower down onto the forearms and really using those elbows, the palms to draw the shoulders back, to draw the arms back as you allow the heart space to come forwards. Softening the muscles of the face, perhaps inviting a smile onto the lips. One more breath. Walking your fingertips over to the right, we will allow the left tricep to press into the left thigh. And really keeping that sphinx-like posture, so gazing up, allowing the chest, the heart to come forwards as you draw the fingers, the elbows back. Gently releasing, guiding your fingers back to center, taking one breath here, and coming upright to a seated position. Uncrossing the legs, you might like to fan the legs out once or twice, invite some mobility into the outer hips. And we'll take firelog pose on the other side. This time the left shin is in contact with the earth. The right shin is placed on top of that. Taking a moment here. Inhale, extend the arms skywards. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forwards, keeping that core engaged. Perhaps lowering the fingertips down. And either staying here or coming down into the sphinx-like variation on our forearms. Breathe. Gently guiding your fingertips over to the left and gently massaging the right tricep into the right foot, the arch of the foot, finding stillness. Gently guiding your fingers back to center. One breath here. And working your way upright to a seated position. Well done. From here we'll extend our legs out in front, perhaps internally and externally rotating the hips once or twice before we transition into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Soles of the feet are touching, knees are splayed wide, grounding down through the sits bones, perhaps interlacing your fingers around the feet. Roll the shoulders back. This is a great posture to stretch into the inner groin, again the outer hips, and it might feel different for everyone, so just observing where you feel sensation on this day, in this moment. Can you slow down the breath a little more? What would it feel like to return to your natural state of peace? If you're having difficulty physically softening, just imagine what it might feel like. Taking one more breath in bound angle. From here we'll extend our left leg out as we come into revolved head to knee pose. The right heel is close to the groin. Both sits bones are grounded. Inhale, extend the arms overhead, join the palms together. And on your exhale, guiding your left arm down to the inner seam of that left leg. Extending the right arm overhead. Doing your best to keep the shoulders stacked so we're really broadening across the heart space. Finding a tremendous stretch along the right side body, particularly around the QL region. Mindfully engaging that core so we are protecting the lower back. Keeping the left foot flexed, the left leg is engaged. And if you'd like, we will walk our fingers on either side of that left leg, maybe folding forwards. Allowing the belly, the chest to melt atop of that left thigh. Maybe lowering the forehead down onto the shin, interlacing your fingers around the left foot. Finding any variation that works for you. It might be helpful to sit on a blanket, a bolster, to just help you find a little bit more elevation and ease with this forward fold. Breathe. Wherever you are in the posture, beginning to return upright to a seated position, using your fingers for support. And we'll take a counter stretch coming into a baby wild thing, guiding the right palm down underneath the right shoulder, raising the hips, raising the heart. And gently guiding your hips down, crossing both legs. And we'll take this on the other side. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Guide your right arm to the inner seam of that right leg, finding a beautiful side stretch. If it's in your practice, you might like to gaze skywards, or if you feel any sensation around the back of the neck, it's perfectly okay to look down towards the floor as well. Lean into what feels good for you. Breathe. Either staying with this twisted variation, or you might like to guide your left fingertips onto the outer edge of that right leg, Fold forward, allowing the sternum, the breastbone to find the middle of the thigh, softening, releasing, deepening the breath, keeping that right leg engaged. Mindfully guiding yourself upright, and we'll come into baby wild thing, placing the left palm underneath the left shoulder, elevating the hips, extending the right arm back, gazing up, raising the pelvis, grounding down through the right leg is extended. One more breath, and gently lower the hips down, cross the right leg in to meet the left. Roll the shoulders back and turn to face the short edge of the mat if you're not already doing so. We'll come into Dandasana, staff pose. Legs are extended long, feet are flexed, grounding down through the heels, quadriceps are engaged. You might like to place your palms on either side of your hips for support. Growing tall through the vertebral column, engaging the core. And keeping the left leg extended, we'll flex the right knee and mindfully guide the right foot to the outer edge of the left leg. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the right, guiding the left tricep to the outer edge of the right thigh, maybe finding a mudra, tenting up onto the right fingertips, gazing behind you. And just being sure that you keep both sits bones connected to the earth. Again, this is a great posture for digestion. Beginning to unravel. Keeping the right knee bent, we will guide the sole of the right foot to the inner seam of that left leg as we come into Janu Sirsasana, head to knee pose, hips are squared. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, twist the torso to the left and fold forwards, attempting to get the breastbone, the sternum in line with the middle of the thigh. And if you're upright all the way, that is okay. If you're folding, that is great as well. It's more about what the posture feels like rather than what it looks like. So if you notice your breath shallowing, shortening, this might be an indication to ease out of the posture a little bit. Reminding yourself that it is okay to surrender. It is okay to find tranquility in stillness. Breathing in, breathing out. Using your palms, your fingertips for support, we will guide ourselves upright to a seated position. Extend the right leg. Invite some internal and external rotation into the hips if that feels good. And when you're ready, setting up to go on the other side, flexing the left knee, guiding the left foot to the outer edge of the right thigh. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the left, finding any variation that feels good for you. One more breath. Mindfully unraveling and guiding your left foot to the inner seam of that right thigh. The knee is splayed out to the side as we set up for head to knee pose. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, twist the torso to the right and fold onto that leg. If you have a bent knee or you're feeling any sensation around that knee, it might be helpful to roll up a towel, a small blanket, and place it underneath, just to provide a little bit more support. Noticing any sensation that you might be feeling along that right leg, around the back body, the shoulders. Checking in with the muscles of the face. Can you soften? And letting go. Finding stillness. Gently guiding yourself upright to a seated position, re-extending the left leg, finding any movement that feels good. And when you're ready, we'll scoot our hips forwards, grounding down through the soles of the feet, palms underneath the thighs, and we'll roll down one vertebra at a time, engaging the core, coming down onto the back. Shoulders, neck, and head coming down last. Allow the body to soften into the earth. It might feel nice to heel toe the feet to the edge of the mat. Allow the knees to rest against one another, creating some space in the lower back. You might like to place one palm on the belly, the other on the heart space. Deepening your connection to the breath. Noticing the manifestation of the breath in this moment. Allowing yourself to really feel connected, to feel at ease. Trusting that it is okay to soften. In your own time, I invite you to extend the limbs as we come into corpse pose, Savasana, for our final relaxation. Give yourself permission to take up space. Performing a scan of the body, perhaps starting from head to toe, toe to head, whatever feels right for you. Really guiding your breath into every region of the body. Feeling your connection to the earth, recognizing the stability that it provides. Are there any regions of the body that you can soften? Are there any regions of the body that are still holding tension? Is there any mental or emotional tension that you might be feeling? And be honest with yourself. Know that this is okay. Allow yourself to be here in full awareness of this tension or whatever sensation you might be feeling. If you feel nothing at all, know that that is okay as well. Just allowing yourself to be in your very nature. No judgment, no conflict, just acceptance. A recognition that this is you. And whilst you dwell in this space of acceptance, what might it feel like if you were to invite a sense of compassion, a sense of loving kindness into this sphere, into this experience? For the next few moments, allow yourself to simply be here, and perhaps utilizing the breath as an invitation to inspire compassion, to inspire love and kindness and peace. And with every expiration, allow yourself to exhale and soften into any discomfort, letting go. I invite you to stay in Savasana for as long as you like. Afford yourself this space to nourish the mind, the body, and the soul. Thank you all so much for participating in this practice. I look forward to connecting with you soon. May you experience true peace and joy. Namaste.